Hello and welcome to LUKE-N-SHAE'S place. I'm Shay,
I'm Luke.
and today we have a fun segment for you guys. We are going to be doing fun facts with Luke and Shay. And yeah, we're just going to let you guys get a look at who we are. Kind of introduced ourselves. We kind of had a video where we told you the things that we would be doing in our podcast, but this is more so letting you know a little bit about us, some fun facts. What do you say? You have anything to say, Luke, about the fun facts?
Well, we're gonna let you host the show, so you ask the questions.
Okay.
I don't have
Can I
too
get
many
some
fun
music?
facts.
It's a little quiet in here. I don't know. Try to live up the room with these fun facts. Hopefully, everybody's having a good start to your weekend. And just want to let you guys know, LUKE-N-SHAE'S place is where positive mentality is destined to reality. Again, LUKE-N-SHAE'S place is where positive mentality is destined to reality. So keep that in mind. So, fun facts. Let's get started on the fun facts. All right, so I'm gonna start it with an easy one that I'll go to that most everybody usually asks. Okay, if you have a favorite color, do you have a favorite color, Luke?
Blue.
Blue's your favorite color. Okay. For myself, red. I don't know where and why, but red is my favorite color. Okay. How about a favorite food?
Italian.
You like Italian food? Any specific dish?
Lasagna.
Lasagna. Okay, that's probably when you probably stole that. When I would have probably said that. That's probably one of my favorite dishes. So let me think about that. My favorite food, because I don't want to use the same one that you did, because that's one of my top.
Well, if that's your favorite food,
that's one of my top five.
use.
Lasagna is one of my top fives. And just giving a shout out to my sister Jackie, because I never tasted anybody's lasagna like hers growing up. Oh my goodness, had the best lasagna, no doubt. And so let me think. If I had to say a favorite dish, I want to say lasagna. I don't want to, but it would be in that pasta.
Join me in lasagna.
It would be in that. Oh, that one is a good one. Oh man, I think about the cheese and when you just melts as you pick
like
it up.
I said, just
let me think. I would say probably I would have to go with lasagna. That's my favorite. I really have to say that.
Like I said, my ex made it the best for me, so that's a tough one.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Because I like the Italian sausage in there and all the ground beef, and well, now everybody try to do the ground turkey thing. I'm not really a big ground turkey person, but yeah.
See, it depends on how you do it, how you make it, because I can make ground turkey taste like ground beef.
Everybody says that.
Some people with it.
Again, I'm a ground beef guy, so no, it's not the same.
But yeah, lasagna, I would have to say that's right up there. My youngest daughter makes it great. I'm trying to think of. I've tried it. I've made it before, but I love tasting something else.
I also like baked ziti. Baked ziti is good. It's kind of reminiscent of the lasagna. It's a little different, but yeah, baked ziti is good.
Baked ziti is delicious. Yeah, that's good. I make that.
But there's a whole bunch because I'm an Italian guy. So.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to say that. And another favorite of mine would be, I don't know, it's something about meatloaf. I like having meatloaf. I love the way I make it, but trying somebody, I know growing up, my mom, she made it really good, but a friend of mine years ago at work, she gave me this recipe and I've been making it like that ever since, but I'm not going to share that here, but yeah, great recipe.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, so moving on. You have a favorite hobby, Luke?
No, I don't have any hobbies.
No hobbies?
None. Not a one. Well, I don't know. I guess collecting football cards, I guess. I don't know. I don't really do that. no more. I did that as a child, but
Okay. For myself, I would have to say my favorite hobby has been for most of my life something that I like to do in a quiet time or just, I don't know, poetry. I like to write poetry. That's something that I like to do.
that's
Yeah, so
understandable. If that's what you like and enjoy,
yeah,
makes your day.
poetry. I got some skills there, so that's one of them. Let's move on. Okay, so do you have any pets?
No,
No pets?
no pets.
Okay, so I have a pet and it's a dog. I have a small dog. And shout out to my little dog Bella, who's probably missing me because she's my shadow. So, yes, I do have a pet. And she's my little bestie. She follows me around. Yeah, she does. So,
There you go.
what about a favorite movie?
No, that's a good one. Probably The Wood. I would say probably The Wood or Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice and The Wood. Okay. So, those are your two favorite? You said The Wood and Poetic
I can
Justice.
go a whole bunch. Love Jones.
Okay, so I would have to say for me, definitely, okay, I'm probably going to give three. I love Coming to America. That is, I don't know. I could watch. That's one of those movies where I can watch it as many times as it's on. I can still not get bored watching it. Coming to America.
I can't watch that because Eric LaSalle is in it.
Okay. So I
That's
definitely.
one of my brother's best friends. So.
So I think I would like to. Let me see. So besides Coming to America, I also like Step Brothers because that's funny. I love Step Brothers.
That's a good funny one.
Step Brothers is also a movie that I love, hands down.
Still think Elf is better and Bad Santa.
Elf?
And Bad Santa.
Okay, those are good. I'm not gonna say they're not good ones. I like romance though. A lot of romance. I really don't have my favorite because if I would go there, it would be like Disney movies, little like Cinderella, princess stuff. But I like movies that resemble that in real life, like love movies, where it starts off a certain way and then it ends in a love.
I thought you said you was into The Bodyguard.
Yeah, that's romance because they fall in love. So yes, he started off as their bodyguard. They fall in love, and I'm not gonna. Yes. Back in the day, I don't know what it was about Pretty Woman. That started off a certain way, but at the end, he's climbing up, and he's with a rose, and he rescues her, and I like that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm a sucker for love, so I like those movies. Shout out to people in the chat. Hello, we have Scott. Hello there. We have a lot of comments coming in. Thank you for watching. So yeah, moving on. So we went with your favorite hobby. You don't have pets. Do you like to cook? Anything that you like to cook? A favorite dish that you like to cook?
Well, like I said, I don't really have a favorite
or
dish.
Bake. Well,
I'm a baker, so I like to bake cakes and pies. I would say my sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie? Okay. Awesome. So you have that going. I think favorite thing for me to make, I just said it. My favorite thing that I love to make because I love to see my family enjoy it, I would say would be meatloaf. When I make the meatloaf dinner for my family, they enjoy that. So that would be the favorite thing I like to make.
Okay, that sounds good. That's interesting.
Okay. And I know it's probably a silly question, but what is your favorite football team?
Why would you ask that?
I know, but just for the people that don't know what that
how about them Cowboys?
Corny star represents.
Respect the star.
Nah. Only the ones in the sky. So tell what your team is. Who's your team?
Oh, they see it. That's right there.
For the viewers who don't really watch football, let them know.
We're America's team. Everybody know that sports emblem right there.
Okay,
the most recognized sports emblem in the world.
And that's true. You guys will be home watching.
You could go anywhere and you know that star.
So, as you guessed it, he's a Cowboys fan. I am an Eagles fan. Fly, Eagles, fly. So, definitely rivals there.
Suck.
Yeah, we suck so bad that you guys are going to be watching us at the Super Bowl. Your team will be home on their sofa watching us.
Y'all just paid more money than we did. Jerry Jones don't believe in spending money.
Oh, well.
That's all.
Here you have it. Two teams that are rivals, Cowboys, and I'm an Eagles fan. All right, so
when y'all catch us in Super Bowls, then we'll have that discussion.
So
then y'all could be rivals.
Moving on away from the football, because that definitely will get us.
Y'all ain't gonna get us. We know who we are. We America's team. Y'all only known for throwing snowballs and batteries at Jesus and Santa Claus.
It's really funny how somebody who sucks so bad this season has the most to say, but we'll be nice with that. Okay, moving on away from football. Where are you from right now? Okay, so you're in Georgia now.
Yeah, that's why I'm in Georgia.
You're in Georgia. Were you always in Georgia, or where are you from?
I've been a bunch of places. I'm from Brooklyn. I hung out in Brooklyn. I'm
talking about where did you grow up? Where was your childhood school at? That's when somebody say where you're from. Usually, that's where was your stomping grounds?
Well, see that once again, I'm originally from Connecticut.
There you go.
Again, I was raised up in Brooklyn in the summertime. So there you go.
Okay, so he's from Connecticut. Okay, so that's where your schools were, right? But you said Brooklyn, so you had little New York.
Georgia Tech is in Georgia. Last I checked.
So you said New York, though. You said Brooklyn.
Yeah, we hung out in Brooklyn in the summertime.
So that's why I said New York. So you had New York was also your stomping grounds. Yeah. Okay, and I'm a Jersey girl.
I say that.
I'm a Jersey girl. That born and raised in Jersey. That's where I'm from. So, yeah. So just recently in Georgia, but yeah, Jersey girl at heart, and I definitely miss having someone pump my gas. So yeah, Jersey girl.
What is up with this? I'm pumping gas. Like we pump gas down. They have self-service stations in Connecticut.
No, in Jersey, everybody.
What they skipped over y'all?
Can vouch for that. We have people that are paid to pump our gas. So. That's just something that I've been spoiled with all my life.
My brother had a self-service station back in 1970, 70-something. What was y'all doing with no self-service stations in Jersey?
We were giving people jobs. People had jobs. Oh, yeah. They greeted us with a smile and they asked us, what can they get for us?
Okay, B.
Fill it up regular. Hey.
Crazy.
All right.
For being so crazy.
So, speaking about growing up, and I know you said you grew up in Connecticut. Did you ever have a dream job when you were younger? Did you have a dream job that you wanted to do? No? For myself, I would say my dream job ever since I could talk, as far as my parents would say, would be I wanted to be a teacher. That was my dream job. And I would say parenting kind of put me in that. I kind of did teach, in different ways in life. So there's some things that I did in life where I did, kind of teach different things. So I was happy about that. Never with the profession of teaching, but whether it was coaching or, just, helping to lead in some way, just teaching different things, training. I consider that kind of teaching. I had jobs where I actually trained people how to do their jobs. So teaching, I always like helping people that way.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any fun fact questions? Because I'm just going through just random ones.
No, I don't have any fun fact questions. Not a one.
Okay. So something.
Talking about fun facts.
Something, I would say anything weird that most people don't know. Something that somebody might consider like a weird thing or that not too many people know. Nothing.
I'm from Connecticut and we don't do nothing weird.
weird doesn't have to mean like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Luke does that, but just something silly
I believe
or
that's
something that
weird.
somebody might laugh at. Somebody might laugh at if they found out that, oh goodness, okay, you're into that, or you nothing like that.
No. Why you got something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I would say maybe a lot of people that know me probably don't know. It kind of developed over the years, but I have a thing with, I don't know. I guess it would be considered, I guess for men, I would probably ask, hey, if you have a weird fetish, but no, we're not going to be putting yourself out there. But for me, it's not a fetish because I don't know. I don't know. We'll make a show about that.
Yeah,
fetishes. But
y'all weird
for
fetishes.
myself, I would say I have like a weird thing that I do, and my family can actually speak up about this. But I have a thing where I don't know, vacuuming my carpet. It's a thing. I love the floor powder smell. I don't know. It just smells so good when I'm vacuuming, and I kind of like do that. And I don't know. It just, I love, not that I love cleaning my house, but something about the vacuuming and that floor powder. And when I go in my room and I relax, I don't know. That's something that people might not know about me, but I love to vacuum my carpet and sprinkle the floor powder down.
You got that as a fun fact, yo.
I have that as a fun fact that most people wouldn't know about me. I love the smell of floor powder. Okay. All right. Do you have? Well, we can continue with that because I have more too. Because we said fetishes. I don't have any fetishes, but one thing I do have.
You got no fetishes?
I don't think you would call it unless it's a such thing as a sneaker fetish.
Okay, yeah, you can have a sneaker fetish.
Well, then I have that. But now it turned more to shoe. But sneakers, yeah. I thought I got better with it, but I definitely, my family knows not to take me in a store. And if I try them on, you might as well say they got to be, you might as well just go to the register and buy them, because once they're on my feet, if they look good, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So sneakers, shoes. Now it's not just sneakers, but when I was growing up as a teenager, it was mostly sneakers. Now it's shoes in general. Like if I see a cute pair of sandals or things like that. But sneakers. Okay. When I was a teenager, though, it was more than just getting the sneakers. I actually like the smell of new sneakers. I don't know, like the smell of new sneakers.
Crazy.
How is that crazy? That's not. Some people just they should have a car scent that says new sneaker, like a new sneaker smell for a car scent.
Crazy.
I love that. That would, you know what? I need to come up with that if that's not already a thing.
So crazy. I like the smell of gas. Ooh, that's crazy.
Is that something you like?
No, I don't. That's like you up there talking about you like the smell of new sneakers.
Do tell.
That's some crazy stuff right there.
All right. What is a favorite childhood memory you have? Anything from your childhood that was a favorite memory?
I guess going to Barbados. I don't know. What do we have?
Nice.
Playing Little League football and basketball, I guess.
Okay.
Baseball. Making an all-star team.
Barbados. Nice. Okay. Anything specific about Barbados?
You must see it right. It's Barbados. You don't see it right, you know. You got to see it the way it's supposed to be said. No.
Well, that's
one girl.
That one I can't do, but
that's too busy smelling sneakers. Don't go around smelling your sneakers.
I don't smell new sneakers anymore, but again, that was just a fun thing.
You act like it was a perfume, like you just gonna put it on.
No, I wouldn't do all that. See, now that's a little too far. I said a car scent. A car scent, maybe, but no, I'm not gonna be putting in perfume. Nah.
Yeah. Go ahead, dab yourself with some new sneakers. New sneakers. I don't know. Kramer had the beach, so you could do the sneakers. I could see that. You want to smell like the beach. I don't know what the beach smell like.
The beach smells like salt water. No, thank you. I'm good with that.
Well, you're going to smell like sneakers. You ain't got to worry about that.
Okay. So anything specific about Barbados, or you just like that was like a family just traveling time that you enjoyed? My
pops is from Barbados, so that's why. I was only going because of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't have went any other time.
Nice. Nice.
I'd rather be home.
Trying to give my shout outs to the people in the chat. Harper, I see you sitting there Commenting, yes. And I have to also tell that's a nice reminder to just go back on something that I do. One of my hobbies, I wouldn't even consider it a hobby, but it's actually besides my sneakers. Okay. Thank you for reminding me about that. How could I forget that? But Scooby Doo, I have like
Wait a minute. So you keep claiming this Scooby Doo. Can you name the characters on Scooby Doo?
Scooby Doo is my character. I could care less about Fred and all.
No.
They all
You
disappear
can't claim.
when there's
You cannot
ghosts around.
claim. You cannot claim Scooby Doo.
Okay.
And not know the characters.
Scooby Doo is my favorite. Okay, I'm a
Who?
big
Okay,
fan
name
of Scooby-Doo.
name another character on Scooby Doo. Come on, let's get the other guys.
Shaggy. I don't care about the other people. If I say I like Scooby Doo, obviously I know who's on the show. I love Scooby Doo, and what I was getting at is in my house, I've gotten better.
You say you're an Eagle fan, right? That's like saying I like the Eagles, but I only like Jalen Hurts.
I've gotten better with my. I've gotten better with
Scooby was a cast of people. Who are the people on Scooby?
I've gotten better with Scooby Doo because my house used to be covered in Scooby. So family, please forgive me. Please forgive me for all the Scooby Doo stuff, but they keep buying it for me.
But you still ain't named no characters. We want to know when somebody say they love something. See, I know the Cowboys. I could go back and name all the Cowboys.
Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
I said Scooby Doo.
Yeah, that's three.
Okay, Velma.
Uh-huh.
Daphne.
It took you a whole hour to say that.
As I was saying, I'm letting him. If I'm saying I love Scooby Doo, why wouldn't I know the characters? What does that look like? Anybody who knows me would think I was fraudulent all these years.
You just came off and said I only like Scooby.
And the crazy part is, I told him that before. I named
all the characters.
So
before you got it wrong. I said it's Velma. You was like, no, it's Thelma. No, it's Velma. I used to watch Scooby Doo, so that was my show. With a bowl of good old Fruit Loops. Do you even know
where Thelma's from? Since you're saying Thelma, because I never said Thelma.
We had an argument one time over Velma. See?
And that is Luke is arguing with himself. I know the Scooby-Doo characters. Everybody who knows me knows that. So moving on. These are for the people who don't know me.
Oh, so you're just going to placate over the fact that you did not know Velma.
I just named all the characters. So...
That's another hot story.
Okay, so who's all the characters from the Flintstones? Since we want to go with the cartoons, let's name all the people from the Jetsons. We can go there because cartoons is my thing.
Okay, well, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. I asked you. What's your favorite cartoon growing up?
I don't have a favorite cartoon.
Okay,
I watch
so we don't have one
cartoons
because...
and we kept track of all the characters.
Okay, and I just named all my characters. Again, thank you, Harper, for reminding me about Scooby-Doo, because how I didn't forget that, but I definitely did. Given my fun facts, forgot about my dog.
We're thinking she a fake Scooby fan because she didn't know all the characters before. But now
did I not just say the characters? I just said them right here live.
But when we tested that earlier, she didn't know.
Earlier? No. When earlier? You talking about 4 years ago, and because we're on a phone, you thought you heard me say Thelma. I said Velma.
No, because I said Velma, and you said that was wrong.
No,
see, that's how that went.
Okay, so
I said Velma.
Moving on past Scooby Doo, because for somebody who didn't want to do fun facts, now we want to dig into my Scooby Doo stuff.
I ain't thinking. I'm just saying.
Okay, so let you ask some questions. Okay, let you host the show.
No, this is your show.
Okay,
I'm just a co-host today.
And he got the most to say now because he was like, I don't have any fun facts. Now he can't stop talking.
No, I'm just calling the real. She did not know who Velma was.
That's
real talk. She was like, who? I said Velma. She said, I don't know no Velma. Said,
and again, that was a phone call, and he thought he heard, but that's not.
I didn't think anything. I'm the one said Velma. You said I was wrong.
Okay.
But go ahead. We digress.
Yeah, we do. Because anybody who knows me knows I know my Scooby-Doo characters, and Scooby-Doo being the main one.
Have you ever been out of the country?
Good. That's a good one.
No,
yes.
Well, I don't know.
I have.
Where you been?
I've been to several places all in one. I've been to, let me see. I've been to Haiti. And when I say these places, everyone, it was all in one cruise. This was not.
I mean, did you get out and experience the people of Haiti?
I got out to say that you can't experience the people. When I went there, they were kind of like, you only had a section where you could actually interact with people selling things. I did get out when we were in Haiti, I got out to say that I was there, and there was the sign behind me, but I didn't do any excursions. It was Cozumel, Mexico as well. I'm trying to think. There was like 7 places. Every morning that I woke up, I was somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been out of the country.
Mm.
What about you? You said you
Yeah.
have. You said Barbie. So any
I've
other
been I've
place?
been to Germany,
Nice.
been to Italy, I've been to New Zealand.
Wow,
Yeah, I've been to quite a few places.
that's cool. Do you have a dream place that you would like to travel to?
Not
Is there
really.
a place that you haven't gone that you'd like to
I'm not
go?
really a traveler. I don't like to travel like that. But I travel at that time for work. But outside of that,
Okay. For myself, there's a place I want to go to, but getting there is probably the thing. I okay. So let me see. Jamaica. I forgot about that. Our our boat did land in our ship landed
ooh,
in
y'all was in
Jamaica.
Jamaica. You been to Puerto
We
Rico?
didn't do
Puerto
any
Rico.
excursions. Let me see.
Oh yeah, Costa Rico.
Yes, so it was Jamaica. That was one
Coast.
of our other places. And how about the place that I want to go to? So the place I would love to go to, but I'm a wimp because of the flight. It's kind of far. I would love to go to Paris and see the Eiffel Tower. I would love to see that.
Been
That's
there, done that. But go
that's
ahead.
something that I would love to do.
It was that is. I think that's overrated. But
What, the Eiffel Tower? Going to Paris?
Yeah, it was overrated.
Do you know how long is the flight to Paris? My son went there. I loved it. And the greatest, that's a good memory I had. My son was in Paris. I didn't know he was going to be in Paris. And one day I was at work and he called me and I'm talking to him on FaceTime and he said, "Mom, look behind me." And I'm like, what am I seeing? And there it was. Moved to the side and there was the Eiffel Tower in real time, even though it was a FaceTime call. That was really cool. I felt close to the Eiffel Tower just because he was there. So
Oh, okay. You don't want to go?
that, like I said, I don't think the flight is 2 hours, so that's a little too far for me.
Well, it's a little longer than that, but which one you think longer, the flight to Hawaii or the flight to Paris?
I would think that the flight to Paris is farther, right?
I don't know.
Hawaii hasn't. That was never something. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind going to Hawaii, but Paris is my place. And I think one day I'm gonna just get up there and just say, you know what? I just want to see that place. And Italy has always been a place. I don't know what it is about Italy. I
Well,
just always wanted to see
Paris,
the different sites in Italy,
Paris was
cathedrals and different
I think
things.
Paris was like an 8-hour flight.
8 hours. Wow.
I think that's an 8-hour flight, and I think Hawaii was like 12 hours.
Oh, okay. See, 12 hours. That's. I don't know how much I can do keeping myself distracted on a plane for 12 hours. So I don't know. How about you? Do you have an issue with flying? Do you like to fly?
You go to sleep.
I can't sleep on a plane.
Why
I tried. I don't know how people can do it. Props to those that can actually sleep on a plane. I've only been on a plane twice. I went to 2 places on a plane and I couldn't sleep. I was just being nosy, looking out at the clouds and looking out the window. I wanted to make sure we were getting to where we were going, I guess.
Sound like some fear and anxiety to me.
As if my staying up made that plane land. Like
if the plane is falling, you being up, you're gonna be fine.
I mean,
but if you sleep,
if I'm up, at least I get to say one last prayer and say, "Lord, just bring me home. Hey, my family, I love you. Just, hey, I get to say one last thing to my Father before He brings me home." I guess I would like to see it. Now, if it was falling, then that's when I would close my eyes. But I don't know. I tried to sleep on a plane. My family members have fallen asleep on a plane, and it looked like they were really.
You need a shot of melatonin.
So that's probably another fun fact about myself, that I'm not a fan of planes.
You can watch movies. It's a lot to do now. You can watch movies, listen to music.
Maybe if they put on Coming to America or Step Brothers, I would kind of that would be enjoyable. I need to get into where I have a TV, something there where I can just watch something, but I don't know. So another fun fact. So let's see.
No, we asked you, could you dance? Can you dance?
Oh, can I dance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have to give a shout out to my childhood. Not even my childhood. I have my dancing buddy. Yes, I have skills with dancing. I don't know if anybody's in the chat that can actually help with that, but yes, I grew up in a household where, yeah, actually, my sister, she can. We grew up in a household where, yes, we were the pastor's daughters, but we time to time we watched some
What that's
shows,
supposed to
Yo
mean?
MTV.
I'm the pastor's
We
daughter.
probably danced better than what was on Yo MTV Raps. What I'm saying is we definitely
Y'all probably
knew
dancing like on Saved by the Bell.
No, we didn't dance like Saved by the Bell. What? You hear him?
See, I was on the streets dancing.
No.
So I was a street dancer. So.
Yeah, we definitely, and not just saying could. I don't want to say could because I don't want you to think that I forgot how to dance. That's something that I never forgot how to do that. So
we were like,
we could definitely, if I have to put a camera on a hat and go somewhere and I'll have to show, I definitely can still dance. So yes. A fun fact about yourself, another fun fact about something somebody wouldn't know about you.
I don't have a fun fact like that.
You don't have anything nobody knows about you?
I don't drink or smoke, but everybody know that. Outside of my real name.
Okay. So something about myself, I would say a fun fact about myself, something that some people might not know is I love drums. I never really got into actually playing drums, but when I was younger,
I was gonna say you're gonna love drums, but
I love making beats. I don't know if anybody remembers back in the day, you made the knuckle beats on the table, and I love making beats. But I love that when I was younger, I used to play. What the fun fact is, I played bongos. Like my parents got a set of bongos in my house, and I had already been making knuckle beats, and even with the book on the bus, we made beats with the book. You know, you take out your little book with because we used to actually cover our books with, the paper bag, and it would make a nice sound, like their hardback book. And I would be on the bus, somebody would freestyle, and I would make the beats on the book. But bongos, when my parents got bongos in our household, man.
That's the only instrument you can play is bongos?
That's the only instrument I was interested in playing. So, yeah. My other instrument that I could use that was a God-given gift was my voice. I didn't really have to play an instrument. Singing. Yeah, singing is something that I love to do. So, that's something.
I was in the choir.
Oh, cool. That's a fun fact. That's cool. That's good. But everybody wasn't in a choir, so that's cool.
I can play a tenor sax, alto sax, a bass sax. I was also in the marching band. I was also in the what else? I also took ballet. So
nice.
I also took Afro-American dancing.
Hold up. I just rolled right over that one.
I took ballet for football.
I rolled right over that one because you were saying all the instruments you played, but you were like, tenor sax. I was singing the choir and ballet, and I was like, oh, cool. Wait, ballet.
And I can play keyboard too because the same keys.
Okay.
The same keys on the saxophone, the same keys on the keyboard. So yeah, we learned all of this stuff. That's why I said when you live in the inner city, you learn a lot of stuff.
Nice. And I took keyboarding in high school. Let me see. It was probably freshman or 10th grade year. I think for 2 years I took keyboard, and shout out to my teacher growing up.
Well, why wasn't you in a band? You should have got in a band. You wasn't in the school choir?
I was in the school choir as well. I started so this is the crazy part. When I was in the younger grades, I would say maybe like in the little school, when I was in elementary school, I used to try out for choir. My choir teacher didn't like me. She was also my music teacher during the week. And listen, it could have been my fault. I did talk a lot when I was a kid because, hey, being the youngest at home. So when I got around kids my age, I wanted to talk. So every time I would go and try out, she would never pick me. And I was like, what the heck? I thought my family would say I had a nice voice and I sang with my siblings at church on Sunday. So, but then when I got to middle school and I tried out for choir, shout out to Mr. Siegel and Miss Birchall, that they were my music teachers. Okay. So when I got to middle school, that's when I got picked for choir, and they asked me, they were like, "Were you in choir before?" I was like, "No." They were like, "Did you ever try out?" I said, "Yeah." And my music teacher from the year before was there, and they were like, "She never made choir, and she just had this stupid look on her face." And when they picked me, yes, for all the years that I was there, I was in choir, and I went on to high school to be with an amazing choir. Shout out to all the choraliers from my high school in New Jersey. So yeah.
Okay, well, that was great.
That was a fun fact.
Okay, that was
But
a fun fact.
yeah, that was a fun fact being in choir. Any last fun facts? Horror stories, dating. Any dating horror stories? Anything that was like a horror story with dating? Somebody that showed up not looking like they did when you first started talking to them.
I have never dated in that realm, so I don't know. I ain't never had that.
Nobody that turned crazy when you started dating them. Something crazy, like a funny story.
No.
Okay. Wow.
My life kind of sane on the same side. No, we didn't. Like I said, we didn't do internet dating, so it is who you is when you.
Well, today, and I'm not saying it doesn't have to be from years ago, but just in general, like now people do internet dating. You mentioned yesterday that you met someone by playing spades online. I'm just saying, was there ever a time where you actually saw that person in real life and they were totally opposite from what?
No, but like I said, because she was a lawyer, so I didn't. It was no big. She was no crazy. I didn't have no crazy people. I can't even think of no dates I went on where they was different, but I didn't do a lot of dating like that. I dated with a purpose. So if I was talking to you, then it was way more into it than just the average.
Hello, everyone in the chat. Thank you for commenting.
We got a bunch of
Thank you so much. Look at that. We got.
And I can't see none of them.
Oh wow! Somebody just bought up my Scooby-Doo sneakers. That's funny. Oh wow! Okay, somebody's a 49ers fan. Okay, Scott, 49ers. That's another rival team of mine.
That's a rival team?
Yeah. Okay. And hi, Tiara's in the chat.
Well, ask Scott where the 49ers are at.
The 49ers are going to be home with your team. You guys are going to be playing spades together.
Don't worry, y'all gonna join us soon because Detroit gonna win.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's gonna be a good game.
No, it ain't. It's not gonna be good. Detroit gonna win. Ain't nothing good about that.
Back to a horror story. I have a quick one.
That's a horror story.
Well, your team losing is probably a horror story, but listen. So back to that. Let me get. I don't want to lose my train of thought.
Where's your horror story?
So I have to bring this up because it was actually crazy. Okay, this guy that I dated. Well, it was a short period of time because you never know how somebody is because he portrayed himself to be a certain way. So go figure, he was law enforcement, right? A law enforcement guy.
I think you like police.
Who, me?
Police.
I don't know, but this was shortly lived because he was probably crazy. I don't know how he got on the force, but he so I dated a guy in law enforcement, and when I say dated, it was just like a whisper in the wind. It was done before it even began. So it started off because I liked that, the restaurants we went on was great. The same kind of food, we kind of meshed that way. Well, I would say after 2 dates, it was always nice walks in the park, things like that. And he would always talk about God. And I said, wow, this is a man of God. I was like, wow. And he's in law enforcement. I'm like, wow, I can trust him. He's somebody that can be trusted. Fast forward to a couple dates and, few dates and we talked. Most of the time we talked, just getting to know each other. And I thought I got to know him through talking. Well, one date he was like, you got to listen to this gospel CD. So I took the CD and I'm listening to the music. I'm like, wow, he has good music taste. Oh, I love it. We'd be on the phone talking. He always would end it, my night after talking on the phone, he would always end it with prayer. And I said, this is a godsend. I was like, it doesn't get any better than this. It's a godsend. and I'm going to say his name. His name was Andrew. Okay. So yeah, shout out to Andrew, wherever you are. Yeah. He was crazy. And so the thing was,
you're going to call him crazy at the same time. Wow.
Yes.
Really?
I'm going to tell you why I say that. I don't know. I don't know what his.
Hope you ain't going to Jersey. No.
I don't know what his walk was actually with the Lord, but I'm going to tell you this. So fast forward to when I found out he was crazy. So let's just say when finally I got comfortable, and I don't know, he might have made me dinner. He wanted one of the dates turned into dinner at his house.
Wait, hold on. You eating a crazy person dinner too?
I didn't know he was crazy at the time. So he was, yeah. And crazy. I don't know if I could say crazy, what he was online, because at the time that's when it was Italian guy. So I'm thinking maybe I'm getting like lasagna or something, whatever. He's going to make something.
I don't think I want no crazy lasagna, but
it turned out to be a little bit of soul food. I said, okay, let me find out you can make a little. It was tasty, whatever, but okay. I don't know what happened. It turned into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because he got a little aggressive. You know, we got comfortable enough where, you know, all we ever did was kind of fool around. He got aggressive. And that day I knew I would never see him again. He was like, oh, you're leaving? Yes, I'm leaving. So I left. I forgot I had his CD. So I had his CD still. And he called me up like a week or so later. He's like, hey, I don't want nothing for you. I just wanted to know if I could have my gospel CD because I let you use that. I plan to meet him in a public place in a parking lot. I met him in a public place in a parking lot to give him back his gospel CD because I didn't want nothing to do with this guy anymore because you aren't who you portrayed yourself to be. So I'm in the parking lot of this public place where I feel comfortable because he's law enforcement. You're going to try nothing here in the parking lot. So he gets in my car to get his gospel CD. He gets in my car. I'm like, here you go. He was like, you smell so good. I like to wear Bath and Body Works. That's just me. I wear different, whatever I smelled like that day. He said, you smell so good. I'm like, okay. So he said, okay, I know this is the last time to see you. Can I just have a hug? He just got from the gym, so he had gym shorts on. Okay. All right. And at the time, I had, I don't know, just having kids and being a mom, some mothers can relate where sometimes you have wipies, the baby wipes in the car, or hand wipes just in, you know, if the kids touch things in your vehicle, you can just wipe it off. I remember having some on the side pocket of my door. So I give him back his CD, Luke, his gospel CD. And I leaned in I gave him a hug. I said, the best of luck to you. I gave him a hug. And I turned and I'm thinking he's getting out the car. And I'm hearing a sound on the car. I'm like, what's tapping? What's tapping in the car? I look over and he's like, you smell so good. He's pleasing himself on the passenger seat in the car.
No, that's a crazy story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I sat there like, okay, this is happening right now. I just sat there and I'm like, this is really happening. And it was, before I knew it, he was like, done whatever he was doing, and I'm just throwing wipes because I'm thinking about my beautiful SUV at the time. I'm throwing wipes over at him like, okay. And he's apologizing. I'm so sorry. And then this is what really took me to the next level of this guy's really crazy, because after he did that, he said, can we pray? Can we pray? Like, now you want to pray? You did that. So that's why I said that was a horror story, because he wanted to pray after that. And I was like, yeah.
I don't know. That tells the kind of man you were dating. See, I told you I didn't date him. It was shortly lived because I realized something was not went
right.
Over man's house and ate and all kind of stuff.
I realized something wasn't right. So that was something.
No, we can't do all that.
That's why I let that go. But that was a horror dating story that was shortly lived, because he ended it with, can we pray? One last thing, if you want to do, actually two things. Your favorite childhood memory. Did you do that already? Do you have
already did that.
Favorite childhood memory?
We already did that. Go on.
I didn't answer it though.
We
went on to something else. My favorite childhood memory I can remember is being home with all my siblings, and I remember it was Christmas morning, and I was probably 5 years old, and I remember my favorite childhood memory was Christmas morning. me and my sister would always peek downstairs to see, and my brother to see what was under the tree because my parents didn't, their room was downstairs, ours was upstairs. So we would peek and see all the gifts and we would be excited. Well, this one Christmas, there was a red, shiny bike about my size. And I remember my siblings taking me outside because this bike didn't have training wheels on it. And I think that might be why my favorite color is red, because I remember my older brothers and my sisters all trying to get me to ride this bike. And they were like, and I'm looking for the training wheels. They're like, no, you can't have these. This is a regular bike now. You have to learn how to ride a bike. And I remember Christmas morning when I was 5, getting on that bike. They're like, it's yours. So if you want to ride it, you got to learn. I fell a couple times and I got back up every time, and they gave me a little push. And I remember that one push that sealed the deal. And I just was pedaling, and I was doing it. And that's a great memory, just having my siblings come together and teach me how to ride a bike. That was, I don't know, it might be corny to some, but that was a memorable moment, having us all home with our parents, my parents looking out the window and watching, and I'm learning how to ride my bike. That was a great memory.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a strong, good memory.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. So that's about it for my fun facts that I have. I don't know if you have any more.
I don't have.
Was that it?
Fun fact. That was it for me. I'm just listening.
And you wanted to end it with my riding the bike?
No. I'm just sitting here. I'm the co-host, and I'm sitting here enjoying.
Okay, I know which one I forgot. This is the last one, I promise you guys, and you can get back to what you're doing. What about a pet peeve? Do you have any pet peeves?
No. Do you have any?
How you skip? Did you even think about a pet peeve? Do you have any? I thought most people have a pet peeve, something that could be anything. You don't have any pet peeves?
No, I don't. Why would I have a pet peeve?
Because some people have it.
No, that's something that people have when they don't. That's something I don't like somebody else doing. I don't care what you do. If you do it, you love it, I'm with it.
So you don't have anything that will make somebody does it and then you're just like, nothing like that?
Outside of the norms, no. I mean...
I would have to say my pet peeve is, I have two that I can't really get past. I can get over the one because I can kind of fix it, but I can't fix somebody who's just, when somebody is walking close to you and they just, okay, you sneeze and you don't cover your mouth and you're just right there. I could be in the store and you're just all of a sudden, yeah. And I'm like, you didn't know you were, and then you're facing my way and it's like, no kind of nothing. I cannot stand that. I don't want your sprays on me. I don't need that. That's a pet peeve of mine. Cover your mouth by all means.
Did you have that pet peeve before the, I want to say, I always want to word that. Before the virus thing happened here?
It was before that, yes. Okay. And it got worse after. Yes, after we got hit with COVID, it was even worse. If I even heard somebody make a look, I do that today. Now, doctor's appointments, I'm straight up looking.
They refer to that, the virus. They don't even call the name on YouTube. But
okay, so the virus, my bad. I'm still learning all the kins and cannots of words that are trigger words. So when the virus came and it made... Yeah, that made it worse when I hear it now today. If somebody does it now, I'm like, come on, you have to. That right there is a pet peeve of mine, and the toilet paper facing the wrong way is a pet peeve of mine.
What is the wrong way?
The toilet paper facing the wrong way. So that means if the roller, when you put the toilet paper on, I believe that it should be facing me. It should be facing me to where I can pull it down.
It's
not a preference. I don't understand why somebody want it upside down, and then you have to, when you make the tear, you're going up underneath.
The person that does it that way think that your way is awkward.
I just feel like it's backwards. It's upside. It's just the toilet paper facing me. I can rip the square where I want it, and I shouldn't have to go up under it. It's more work, and then rip the toilet paper. I want to just go in, rip it off, and keep going.
Crazy.
So that's a pet peeve of mine.
For being so crazy.
And you don't have one, but
I don't. Why would I have a pet peeve? I mean, I feel like people gonna do what they do regardless. So I mean, that's how it is. especially my job, you have to understand what people do and let it go. So that's why
Yeah,
I don't
well,
have a
I mean,
pet
it
peeve.
doesn't bother me to where I'll walk out of the restroom fussing. I'll just fix it.
You can
But I'm
sit here and
saying
say, "Oh, I hate going into public bathrooms because people treat public bathrooms very nasty."
they
Okay,
are nasty.
again, but like I said, I try not to use public bathrooms.
And I
So
try not
in
to
that
too,
sense,
but
but it ain't a
sometimes you
pet
just
peeve.
can't
But
help it, especially when
I
you're on
just know what
vacation.
it's going to be when you get there. So,
Yeah, so
but I
that's
don't have a pet peeve with what
I
people
have a
do.
pet peeve. I don't have a pet peeve to the where I will argue or something like that, but it does bother me when someone's sneezing and not covering their mouth, or when the toilet
I
paper.
mean
I'm
that
just
would, but
like,
I think that
okay.
would bother anybody because you're being spit on.
Oh yeah, well,
That's
that's what my pet peeve was. I'm saying, so you didn't have one, so you're saying it bothers anybody. So those are different ideas that we give. That's things that would normally bother you, to where you might speak up to someone like that. Excuse me, because sometimes people are
you know
close.
I done seen people have pet peeves like where the man told me one time you're supposed to put one sock on, one shoe on, one sock on, one shoe on, and if you put on both your socks first, he would have to get upset. That's a pet peeve. See, if somebody's spitting on you or somebody passing gas or any, that's a common
Not
thing. Well,
It's
it's not
not
going to be
just that they're
cool.
spitting, but they're sneezing close to you, not covering your mouth. That doesn't
But
mean
I
they're
mean,
spit.
that's
That's
still
just, I mean,
that still will
that's
follow the heading of being not cool. You're supposed to cover your mouth.
you are. So
That's
that's
called
just,
that's
and
called home
since you have
training and
people who
manners.
don't do it, that's a
You
pet,
cover
pet
your
peeve of
mouth.
mine that they do it. I mean, I could think of one like you just gave, the one foot on, one foot whatever, one sock on first and then the shoe. One of my sisters, she used to have a thing, and if she caught you biting an eraser on a pencil, she could not stand someone biting. You know how you have the eraser on the back of a pencil? My sister couldn't handle
You know, I
that.
remember the people that hated the script. You take your nails and go down the
Oh,
blackboard. But see, they don't have
mm,
blackboards no more, so
mm.
you can't do that no more.
Yeah,
But yeah, that used to.
that's a good
But
one.
they used to say it make your flesh crawl.
That's
But
a
no, I
good
don't
one.
have any pet peeves I could think of. Like I say, out of the norm, there's certain things you ain't gonna like just because you only supposed to like them.
Okay. And last, I have music. What are the music genres that you like? You have any favorite music that you want to
Well, I
mention?
was a radio personality, so I like
Okay. Wait,
R
you
and
were a
B.
what? You said that low. You were a radio personality, you said?
Yeah,
Nice. So what are some of the music? What is your music interest?
I don't have a music interest. I love music, all music. So, but like I said, I can listen to anything. I don't
Okay.
have a preference. R&B would be, I guess you would call it your preference, but that's just because we dance. But outside of that, yeah, I like 80s music. Um, yeah, I don't have
Cool.
a.
And for me, I would have to say, listen, gospel is my number one. Now, if you would have asked me that,
It's going what gospel you talking about, so you gotta be clear on that.
but we're talking about my interest, and I'm talking about, so contemporary gospel. I love. Um, I love.
No, I can't flow with the contemporary
Well, the
gospel.
reason I went to a church where that's the kind of, yeah, that they play, but I like just regular gospel. I'm talking about just
I like
gospel.
old school gospel.
Yeah, I love regular gospel, and yeah, old school gospel. I grew up listening to old school gospel. My father used to play different gospel songs around my house. I would say my favorite gospel group, though, if I had to name my favorite one, would be, and I'm going back. Number one would be the Mighty Clouds of Joy. For me, I love the Mighty Clouds of Joy.
I couldn't be for me. The Soul Stirs with Sam Cooke.
Okay,
That's the greatest, one of the greatest male singers ever.
nice. Yeah, so that would be, and I would say old school. I Today's music, I couldn't tell you what people, any artists of today, but if you go back to the 90s era, 80s, then I'm there. That's where I stay at. I still go back there and listen. If I am going to listen to R&B, I love R&B. I'll listen to old school. There are some songs that I'll hear on the radio that I'm like, okay, if it has a nice beat and if the message, if it's good, but it has to be about love. I feel like back in the day that they were really singing about love. It's kind of like you could daydream to that music, to just that kind of music where you can just lay back and daydream. That I love that. I don't know, just jazz too, smooth jazz.
So you don't like Chris Brown, Usher?
I don't listen to them. No. Now, when you talk about Usher, you're going back to the 90s because when I was in high school, Usher was that Usher back then. Yes, I did listen to Usher back in the 90s. Yes.
What about Devin Morrison?
I couldn't tell you who that is, honestly. No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Who is it? You gonna tell me who it is? Who is
it? A new R&B artist.
So I mentioned that I don't listen to today's music, so I wouldn't know these people.
But I know, but being that you're younger than me, I think you should know some of these people.
Okay, let's have that discussion. That doesn't mean that just because someone's younger than someone that they know today's music.
That's equivalent to me knowing who Usher is in that case.
No, so that's great. You know who Usher is because Usher still does stuff today. So you're asking me about artists of today, and I mentioned when I first gave my genres of music that I don't listen to today's music.
What about LMA?
I really like old school music, and my thing is I stay in gospel.
What about LMA?
LMA? Mm-hmm. Give me something. What song did that person sing? Because the name is not. That sounds like somebody's aunt.
That's what
LMA. LMA. Okay. I don't know who's that.
I ain't gonna mess with that.
Who's LMA? Help me out,
you know
Chad.
LMA.
Who's LMA? Anybody heard of LMA? Quick, let me know who that is because the chat's they're even confused of who LMA is. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. I have my kids, they have different things that I hear them listen to.
Your kids don't know who LMA is.
Listen to anybody know who LMA is? Because he's looking for his aunt or something.
No, she big. She had a song with Babyface. She did a lot of work.
Okay, Babyface, I know who he is.
But LMA did a work. She got a really big song. And when we get off air, we're gonna play it.
No,
I can't play it on air.
I want to know who she is now. Why can't I know who she is? What did she say?
We on air.
Can you tell me a song? And usually, if you give me a title, I might get. What's the song that she was in?
It was called Boo.
Boo?
Yeah, My Boo.
My Boo? Yeah. No, it doesn't sound familiar. Sorry.
Wow, that's crazy.
Was it a one-hit wonder for her?
I just told you she's huge now.
Oh, she's huge now.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't know her. I don't know the artists of today. I said that. I stayed back in the 80s and the 90s, and I stay in gospel. So unless she's singing praises to the Lord, I don't know who she is.
You know who LMA is.
Yeah, so I don't know who she is.
You know who Jordan Ward is. We
Jordan Ward. See, now you got to give me names of songs. You got to give me names of songs.
Oh, wow.
So no, that's it with me. I'm sorry. I'm an 80s baby. I'm still stuck in the 80s and the 90s. The music of today, I don't feel like they're really singing about love anymore. I feel like we skipped over love and we're already between the sheets today.
They've been stopped singing about that. That was in your era. They stopped doing it. I guess the last group.
No, not really. We had some love songs that I could daydream to.
What love songs y'all had when you were growing up?
Love songs?
By artists that was in your era. Go ahead.
Let me see. Baby, 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 TLC. Come on. I used to sit and think about my little love interest. Yes, we had even our fast day songs had meaning to it.
Hold on, you consider that a love song?
That's a love song. She's singing to her. Yes,
that's not a love.
Every song. Okay, baby, I'm yours if you want. Yes, those are good songs.
None of those songs qualify as love songs, but
the song by Shy. You're saying that's not a love song? We had Jodeci, and then we had Jodeci. We had Boys to Men. Every song that Boys to Men sang. Okay, I'll make love to you. We were singing that before we even know what making love was. And once, even when you found out, you still wanted to play that song.
But like I just said, we grew up with that type of stuff. But you coming from music from my era, I'm the same age as Boys to Men, so that's different.
Yeah, but that's the song. But you might be the same age as them, but they came out when I was younger.
Well, that's
I
what we're
grew
saying.
up listening to them.
We're talking about the people that came behind them. And the TLC never was a group that really sung about love. They had a whole bunch of stuff.
But they had a lot of stuff that I loved and inspiration. Some of the stuff was love stuff. And
we're
song that
talking about the same group that I used to see down here in Atlanta with the condoms on their head. That's about love.
You're talking about a group of girls that you actually like yourself. So I don't know why. If they had condoms on their clothes, if they were promoting safe sex, I wouldn't even say that was a bad thing. They were promoting safe sex.
That's what they were promoting.
Yeah. Okay. At least they were dressed fully and they weren't naked promoting safe sex.
Okay.
Now they weren't twerking.
That's what they were doing with the condoms on their head.
They weren't twerking. They were actually promoting safe sex. So.
And this is the home of the Freaknik. Well. And we was promoting. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm just saying, TLC. Yes, I love them. They had a lot of inspirational songs. You know.
But
don't beautiful.
Don't go chasing a waterfall. Don't go chasing a waterfall.
Waterfalls. What I was naming the song that it was beautiful. I love beautiful. You know, you can buy your hair if you don't grow, because a lot of us do that anyway. So, and they had stuff about people. This was going through different things, and there was a bunch of songs. And then Waterfalls was a good song too. But yes, that was the music from my time that I loved. Today, I can't even mention to you, like, my kids will say a name of an artist and I'm like, who's that? And, you know, sadly, I can't relate to today's music. And now I feel like my parents, because when I was growing up, I didn't understand why my parents were saying, hey, turn that down, or, you know, and I'm like, well, this is good music. They don't understand what. But now, as a parent now experiencing that, I'm like, I could see why they, you know, because the music from their time was good music to them. And I consider music from my time good music. And now today's music, it sounds like what my parents would call a bunch of boogaloo playing. Like, what are they even saying?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Any sad memories?
Oh, no.
No sad memories. He doesn't want to touch on sad memories. So we won't go there. I don't know. Sad memories for me. A sad memory. I would have to say a sad memory for me was, I would say my parents that's not being here, because every holiday now that goes by, I'm so used to, and I actually caught myself doing it when the new year came this year. I'm so used to picking up my phone and calling my family, calling my parents, or the next day saying happy. And I noticed that the next day after I got sleep, after Happy New Year's, there was a moment that I didn't share it with my family. I actually picked up my phone and I remembered I couldn't call my mom to say Happy New Year. So, and that would be a sad memory that I have. Losing loved ones is definitely always a sad memory. But we will end it on a good note, because I don't want that to be the last thing we say. Our last fun fact. Luke, go ahead. You can pick it.
Oh no, I'm just sitting and enjoying.
Come up with something, Luke. What's the last fun fact that you want people to know about you?
I don't have any fun facts.
Okay, I have one that you might be able to answer. That people might. Just a last fun fact. What was your first car? What is the first car that you had?
A Mercedes.
A Mercedes for the first car?
Yeah.
How old were you?
22.
22. That's about the same age that I got my first car, I think. Was that 22? Might have been 22. Yes. Okay. Shout out to my sister, my friends who, I had family members that helped me drive, because I was stubborn when it came to driving. They gave me the push I need. But my first car was a Mazda MPV. So we speak about the 90s. If you remember, back then, there was in the 90s videos, I don't remember a specific video it was in, but it was the burgundy Mazda MPV vans. And when you started them up, the hydraulics would make it rise. Yes, that was my first van. And I made that van the mystery machine. So inside my van, my two oldest children would remember, I had everything Scooby-Doo. I had my seat covers, everything. It just looked like you stepped inside of the Mystery Machine in my first vehicle, which was a little minivan.
You do realize there's only one seat in the Mystery Machine.
Well, not in my van, see. So in my van, we had, yes, there's one seat in the Mystery Machine, but my Mazda MPV had 2 rows, and we didn't make it.
See that right there unqualifies it for the Mystery Machine.
They had one seat.
Because Scooby
it was
and
just
Shaggy
one
sat
long
in the back
seat
in a big open area.
Yeah,
bro.
and they were just on one long
and
seat.
sometimes they'd be up front.
Yeah.
Sitting on that one long seat.
That's wow. But yeah, they had one. But no, my Mystery Machine had more than one row in it. But see, that was
that's LMA right there. And you don't
I
know
can't hear.
I know you can't hear it.
Oh, we can't hear it, but
see, that's her.
I'm looking at the person he calls LMA, and I still don't know who that is. Sorry.
You don't know Booed Up. See, this is crazy.
Oh, you got me.
Booed Up. See.
Oh, so I
crazy.
know that I've heard of that song, but I never saw her face. I would hear it on the radio, and it's only because my daughter would play it so much. My daughter would play it so much in her room.
Did any of your kids help you on that? No. See, now they saying it. See, now she's saying Booed Up. See, crazy.
Oh,
that's why
my daughter would play that so much.
And I just went with her because I knew you would know that song. There's nowhere in the world you wouldn't know.
I would hear it. I can't even sing it on here because it's But yes, my daughter would play that in her room so much, and I'm like, okay. So now, but just
Bruno Mars,
hearing her name. Okay, Bruno Mars. That's another artist she would play in her room a lot. My kids would play. There's some songs that I like from him. Yeah.
Okay, see that we just wanted to keep it
so
on
if you're talking about people who are still singing today, I like
see I said LMA, you can call her your auntie. And she go with Babyface right there, but
okay. So one of my favorite artists, I would say, if we're talking about like R&B, I would say Fantasia. I love her. Fantasia is one of my favorites. I love a lot of her songs. John Legend too. But I usually stick with gospel.
Oh, you got all the old artists, you John Legend.
Yes, that's me. That's who I like to listen to.
We said new artists. You got to know some.
I don't know any new artists. That's not. I'm the Leah age group. We grew up in that time.
What about WizKid?
None of that. I don't know any of that. I've heard of his name.
WizKid.
I've heard of his name, but I could not tell you anything.
Okay, her.
Okay, I'm okay. So I don't know, and
we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it on that note right there. See,
I don't know who her is, but yeah, I'm sure maybe
somebody enlighten her to who her is.
The fact that you know all these people from today, bless your heart, but that's not me. But I don't know. No more fun facts. That was it for today.
It. We done.
Okay, no, I want to end it with your last one that I had for today. No more. Who was your favorite childhood teacher? Favorite teacher?
Well, go ahead. Name yours. I don't have a favorite teacher, but go ahead.
If I had to pick, I don't know if I have one favorite teacher.
You're making up questions, and then you say you don't know what your favorite.
I know because it's when I think about teachers. The reason why I'm going to say this teacher is because I had a teacher that, yes, I was only in the 2nd grade, but the fact is, years later, my son, this was only like maybe 6 years ago, he brought a note home and he said, "Mommy, I think you know my teacher, one of my teachers." And it was a teacher that was in his classroom helping out. She just happened to ask because, she taught a lot of the kids that she was, helping out in the classroom. She taught their parents. She said, "Who's your mommy?" And he said my name, and she's like, I only knew one person named that for, and he brought a note home and he said, "Mom, I think you know my teacher." I went to his back to school night and there she was. She still looked the same from 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. And I was like, early 30s. I'm looking like, okay, why? She still looked, is it me or do teachers not age? I don't know if it's because they're around kids all the time and they don't age. Well, my favorite teacher, I have to say, and I have two, and I really want to say, because it also was my choir teacher from high school. Yeah. my choir teacher from high school had the best music program, I would say, hands down. And I was an O girl at that school. But I would have to say my favorite teacher was my second grade teacher, Mrs. Higby. Mrs. Higby was my favorite teacher. I don't know. I don't know. She always looked like my Barbie doll. When I would go in her class, everything about her, she just looked like the Barbie dolls that I would play with. She was beautiful. And even when I saw her in my 30s, she still looked the same. So, Miss Higby, thank you. You are a great teacher. She definitely sent notes home when I was talking too much in class. So
yeah, you're talking too much right now. So let's end this show.
All right, we're gonna end it. That was our fun fact segment, and we appreciate you for just joining us this evening and on our second live feed. So that's great. We're
and a big shout out to all the people in the chat. We really appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you for all your comments
Even
and your
though
help.
I can't read any, and notice she didn't read none. She was too busy talking. She should have read some of the stuff y'all was saying.
Trevor, shout out to Trevor in the chat. Okay. Yes, I want to give a shout out to the people in the chat over here. Okay, we got Scott. He's been commenting a lot. Yes. Okay. All right. We have got some people in the chat.
We need to enlarge.
And I see some smiles, so that's good that we were able to put some smiles on your face tonight. So, and again, we thank you so much for chiming in with us and
we had a good time
checking us out. And just our little saying, you know, I'm gonna say it to you guys as much as I can, but LUKE-N-SHAE'S place, where a positive mentality is a destined reality. Again, LUKE-N-SHAE'S place, where a positive mentality is a destined reality. So just keep that, because you know, mental health is so important, and we're here to add positivity. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see ya. You want to end it?
And we're going to end it. Yes. Take care.
See you guys. Your computer is